Hey family, welcome back to the channel. Stacy Shining Light here. I hope everyone is having a great Labor Day weekend thus far. I just hopped on here real quick to somewhat make not really a part two, but to kind of piggyback off of yesterday's video where I talked about going through seasons of slander when people, are being used by the enemy to come against you in the form of assassinating your character, being lied on, and things of that nature. We talked about how difficult those seasons can be and how it is very natural for you to want to clear your name and avenge yourself. And I also talked about how that can stop God from vindicating you. I also mentioned how it's very difficult, but it is vital to trust God and to allow him to fight the battle, because when he does it, it's undeniable, and it's so much better for you to be able to keep clean hands and truly rest in the assurance that God will fight the battle for you. So those are some of the things that we talked about. But as I was thinking today, I got a little more revelation on how some people may leave themselves open for this type of warfare. This video, I'm just going to scratch the surface. I'm not going to get really deep because I just don't want to right now, but I will double back at some point and we can talk about it in a little more detail. But I just want anyone that comes across this video or yesterday's video that has been struggling with a season of slander, where you have gone through that, where some, one or people, have misrepresented you, have tried to, hurt you publicly, all rooted in lies. Maybe consider, and this isn't always the case, but where there may be an open door, sometimes there's things that we do in our waking lives that open doors to the enemy, that leave us more susceptible and more open to warfare. And while that's not always the case, sometimes it is. So I just want you to be mindful, take a moment, and if you are in this season, think about what door could have possibly been opened for the enemy to attack you in this area. Whether it could be unrepented sin that you haven't dealt with, or it could be anything, dibbling and dabbling in certain spiritual things that could be causing open doors. Some of the things that people tend to think is okay. There's a lot of things that people tend to, do, and sometimes it is unknowing. Ignorance is bliss. So sometimes people just don't know what they could be opening themselves up to. But, my suggestion would be to pray to God to show you anything on your bloodline in the form of generational curses. And again, this isn't everyone, but it is important to be able to seek God for yourself to find out if there is an open door and what you can do. Well, first of all, you have to know what it is so that you can, if you need to, repent and ask for God to lead you and guide you, out of error, and to close that door, where you may have given access to the enemy unknowingly. So in a nutshell, there are many reasons and there are many ways that you can have an open door in your life. And this is for Christians who have received salvation, who are saved, who are walking with God. And when you're noticing, warfare that just seems to come out of nowhere, no rhyme or reason, and people that you wouldn't expect that are coming against you start coming against you, and just things just seem really off and in, disarray. That's a good time to seek God and find out, ask Him to show you what it is that you may need to repent for, where that open door is. The enemy will come in. If you leave the slightest crack, he will come in and he will cause chaos. He will. So pray to God for clarity, for direction. Ask Him to show you the light. Pray, let there be light, and ask God to reveal, to give you revelation on what open door you may have in your life that is giving way to the enemy to attack you in that form of slander or whatever you may be dealing with that doesn't seem normal. We are in a season, and this is the world at large. If you look around, the world is just, as my grandmother used to say, the world has gone to pot. And it's just so much going on out here. It's so much. And it is very easy to get caught up and to, feel discouraged and be spiritually weighed down, But there is good news. You don't have to weather the storm by yourself. You can lean in and tap in and trust and believe. If you ask for help, that help is there. The help is there. It is there for the taking. But sometimes you just got to go a little bit deeper below the surface, beneath the surface, to get answers to questions, right? And sometimes you may have to turn down your plate. Fasting is very powerful and does allow God to show up and for you to get revelation even better, than by just praying by itself. Prayer is always going to move mountains if you're praying with the right heart, and if you're praying and worshiping God in spirit and in truth. But fasting, in addition to prayer, is even more powerful, because you are crucifying your flesh. By turning down your plate and fasting, you're crucifying your flesh. And sometimes those answers and that breakthrough can show up even quicker. God is very moved, and He shows up when you are willing to sacrifice your flesh, by turning down your plate and feeling, when you get hungry, just eat the word. When you get those hunger pains, and whether you fast for a full day, whether you fast, just breakfast or lunch, if you fast and stay in your word and pray, you are going to get your answer. You just keep seeking God, and He will show you. He will show you what you are seeking Him for. He will. So I just wanted you guys to consider this. It does go a little bit deeper than what I typically talk about. But when we talk about, being attacked by the enemy, and being attacked when the enemy is using people, and when it seems like it just kind of comes out of nowhere, kind of random, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is there something spiritually, a door that I may have opened knowingly or unknowingly, and a lot of times, if we're being honest, unrepented sin may be it. And again, if you're not sure, that's when you pray to ask God to show you. Ask Him to show you the unseen and what it is that He may be trying to reveal to you in this hour. So maybe in my next video, my next couple of videos, we can go a little bit deeper about what those open doors look like and how we can work to close those open doors, to close them once and for all, and to ensure that if there is any generational curses or residue from generational curses that have hopefully been broken, that it'll end with you. And I want y'all to type that in the comments. It ends with me. If the content is inspiring you and helping you in any way, I would encourage you to subscribe, share with someone else that may be encouraged by the videos, and like the videos. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this way, the content can be pushed out to more people that may benefit from these types of messages. But all right, I'm out. Y'all have a great remainder of the day. And until next time, never be afraid to let your light shine. Bye.